A while back, I made a video all about how I ended up getting a Doberman in the first place, and in that video, I talked a lot about how I came really close to getting a Boxer after just tons of research into the inner workings of both breeds. And that video just set off just a ton of comments from you guys, my viewers, talking about all the different aspects, going back and forth about Boxers and Dobermans. So that's why I decided to make this video, which is all about the differences between the Doberman breed and the Boxer breed. So let's get going. Okay, all right, it's no secret which breed ultimately won me over, and if you want a pretty big hint, you can just scroll beneath this video and take a look at the channel name. But you know, there was a time I was really torn right between these two dogs, and I mean, so much so, I spent months researching all the fine details between these two breeds and what owners can expect from them. And that's why I thought it was important to relay this information to you guys and give you this video. And in this video, we're gonna give you a rundown on the physical differences between these two amazing breeds of dogs. They're both amazing breeds. Also, besides physical, we're gonna talk about their physical capabilities, which is incredibly fascinating, but there are some important differences about what each dog is capable of. And then the all too important intelligence and temperamental differences. And lastly, we'll talk about which breed of dog is best for what type of owner, which is really gonna shine a light on this whole subject. And after you watch this entire video, if you still want to accuse me of being biased in the comments, well, then go ahead. There's probably a dash of truth to that anyway, no matter how middle of the road I try to be. Okay, first up, let's talk about the physical differences between these two dogs. Now, they're both working dogs and both fairly impressive physically in their own right. Now, first up, let's talk about the height of these dogs. Dobermans are coming in between 26 to 28 inches tall for males and 24 to 26 inches tall for females. Now, this is measured at their shoulder level, which is called the withers, kind of upper shoulder level. Now, the Boxer is between 23 to 25 inches for males and about 21.5 to 23.5 inches for females. So in other words, you can expect a Doberman to be about 2.5 to 3 inches taller than a Boxer. Now, as far as the weight goes, Doberman males are coming in between 75 to 100 pounds, whereas females are coming in between 60 to 90 pounds. As far as the Boxers go, the males are coming in between 65 and 80 pounds, and the females are about 15 pounds less, or 50 to 65 pounds. So to sum this all up, you can expect a Doberman to be about 2.5 to 3 inches taller than your average Boxer and about 10 to 25 pounds heavier. Up next is the lifespan of these two dogs. The official numbers for both breeds is 10 to 12 years. So you're probably looking at pretty similar lifespans. As far as the colors go, the Doberman comes in 4 official colors anyway: the black and rust, the red and rust, the blue and rust, and the fawn and rust. Now, there is as many as 9 different Doberman colors you can get out there. And I did do a video all about those. If you're interested in the different colors of Dobermans that exist, not just the official colors, you can look down below in the description. I linked to that video down below for you to check that out. As far as the Boxer goes, they come in fawn, brindle, and white. And the fawn and brindle anyway will usually have a white patch on the chest, the belly, the paws, and maybe even sometimes the face as well. Next up is a coat of these two dogs. The Doberman has a short, smooth coat, which requires a little less grooming than the Boxer. Now, the Doberman is said to shed a little bit more, but require less brushing and bathing than the Boxer does. The Boxer also has a short, smooth coat, but requires a little more grooming, but also sheds a little bit less. So there are some important differences there. Now, as far as popularity goes between these two breeds, the Doberman is about the 18th most popular dog breed according to AKC breed registrations, whereas the Boxer is a 14th. Both very close. I mean, we're talking over 200 to 300 different breeds, so very close in terms of popularity. Up next, let's look at the physical differences of these two dogs side by side, just a little bit closer. Now, if you look at the head of the Doberman, generally Doberman has a wedge-shaped head with that longer muzzle, whereas a Boxer kind of has more of a dome-shaped head when they're younger anyway, but as they get older, it usually ends up more of a square head, and their snout is just much shorter and compressed looking, and the tip of the nose rises a bit above the rest of their muzzle. As far as the muscle mass of these dogs, both have that lean, muscular body with just that impressively powerful look to them. Their chests are very similar with that broad, deep chest, and they both have that short single-layer coat, which I mentioned, which I just love about both these breeds, since shorter coats are just less likely to trap dirt and just stays cleaner much easier. Now, as far as just the overall body shape of the Doberman, I think the AKC breed standard really sums it up well. They say that the Doberman is, quote, a medium-sized dog with a body that is square, compactly built, muscular, and powerful for great endurance and speed, elegant in appearance, of proud carriage, reflecting great nobility and temperament. Whereas the AKC breed standard for the Boxer summarizes their breed with, quote, the ideal Boxer is a medium-sized, square-built dog of good substance with short back, strong limbs, and short, tight-fitting coat. His well-developed muscles are clean, hard, and appear smooth under taut skin. His movements denote energy, the gait is firm yet elastic, the stride is free and ground covering, the carriage proud. Next up, let's talk about the physical capabilities of these two dogs, which is super interesting to me because both these dogs are incredibly impressive with their abilities. As far as speed goes, in the Doberman column, we're going to say 35 miles per hour. Now, this number is hotly debated, and some people swear their Dobermans are capable of 40 miles per hour plus, and they have GPS data and video recordings to back that up. But, you know, as far as official rankings go, I've only ever seen evidence for a top speed of about 35 miles per hour, and now that is from AKC Fast Cat competitions, and that's a top speed, not just the average speed over the entire course. So I think 35 miles per hour is a pretty safe number for the Dobermans. For the Boxer, we're also saying 35 miles per hour, an even match. Again, multiple different conflicting numbers out there, but if you look at the AKC competition data, the fastest Boxers seem to be within, I mean, literally about 1 mile per hour of the fastest Dobermans. That's incredibly close, maybe less than a mile per hour. So we're calling it 35 miles per hour. But, you know, if you look a little bit closer at those results of Fast Cats, I think you'll see the Doberman just barely pulls out a win here. Now, in terms of agility, the Doberman is a very agile dog, can jump up over a 6-foot fence. Now, this is according to owner's own descriptions and accounts. As far as the Boxer goes, I'm going to say possibly even a little bit more agile. Can also jump over a 6-foot fence, but the only reason I say possibly more agile is they're similar in construction of the Doberman in terms of that lean muscle mass, very muscular dog, but they're slightly more compact. And they have that fancy feet and paw work they're known for, which combined logically tells me they're probably a bit more agile, although to be honest, I don't have any hard numbers to back that up. As for bite strength of these two dogs, now this is another hotly contested number. For the Doberman, we're putting them at 305 PSI. Now, depending where you look online, you'll see anything between 228 PSI all the way up to 600 PSI. I'm settling on 305 because that seems to be the most frequently cited number by reputable sources, and 600 is also a little extreme. But the Dobermans, to account for this, a lot of people explain the Dobermans can get their mouths open really wide, and whatever they bite on can get all the way to the back, which provides them extreme amount of leverage on whatever they're biting on. That potentially accounts for the high numbers, but we're not exactly sure. As for the Boxer, it's still high, just not quite as high, 230 PSI. Again, hotly debated, but honestly, I wouldn't want to get bitten by either of these dogs. Next up, the also important temperamental and intelligence differences between these two dogs. Now, there are a lot of similarities here, guys, which is one reason it can be really hard to pick between the Doberman and the Boxer. But the devil's in the details if you pay close attention to this. Now, the Doberman, I'm going to describe the Doberman as fearless, confident, alert, high drive, suspicious of strangers, and somewhat dominant. The Boxer, a little bit different. I'm going to choose the words brave, confident, bright, and energetic, friendly, and somewhat stubborn. Now, the Doberman is stoic, but playful at times. The Dobermans are known for that stoic nature as an adult, but they can also switch that off and have playtime fairly easily, which is especially true of males, but females can do it also. Kind of this balance between stoic and serious and playful is one big reason I'm just in love with the Doberman breed. The Boxer is, I'm going to say, playful and fun-loving. They definitely can be serious, but they seem to have a bit of a heightened playful side over the Dobermans. Some owners even describe it as kind of clownish at times, which can be endearing, of course, too, but of course they do settle down and mature a little bit as they get older, like most dogs do. Both breeds are great with kids and good with other dogs. Both are very owner-focused and loyal dogs. That's probably the most attractive aspect of any dog breed in my mind. I love an owner-focused dog that can just slip seamlessly into a family unit. Now, the maturity for the Doberman, this is a big difference between the two breeds. Dobermans reach maturity by the age of 2. Females can actually even reach that a little bit sooner, but this is when they tend to really hit that nice stoic phase that I just love so much about the Doberman. They can still be playful and goofy, especially the males, but they are just quicker to snap back into that calm, serious, more alert mode, which just helps them make them just easier to manage. Boxers, on the other hand, they reach maturity a little bit slower, usually by the age of 3. They do have a long puppyhood phase. They're kind of known for this. They're known as being fast to grow but slow to mature. Now, it can be endearing, and once they do hit that maturity level, owners say it feels like you have another human in the house, because they're incredibly expressive dogs, even potentially somewhat more expressive in the face than the Doberman, because the Doberman's just so stoic. But this is a difference between them as well, the slow maturity. They're both easy to train dogs. As far as intelligence go, Dobermans are highly intelligent, 5th out of 138 breeds per Dr. Stanley Coren's research. He's a PhD. If you haven't heard of him, he wrote a book, I think it's called The Intelligence of Dogs, where he talks a lot about this. But Dobermans are able to learn new commands in less than 5 repetitions of that command and obey a known command to them 95% of the time, which is incredibly impressive. Boxers, we're going to call them more of an average intelligence, but I like to call them real thinkers too. They're 48th out of 138 breeds per Dr. Stanley Coren. They're able to learn new commands in 25 to 40 repetitions and obey a known command 50% of the time per his research. They're still very smart. That puts them in the same category as Siberian Huskies and Australian Shepherds, not dumb dogs at all. So they're still smart, just it's hard to beat the Doberman with their intelligence levels. Now, what the dogs originally bred for, the Doberman was originally bred to be a personal protection dog for humans. I feel like the original purpose for any breed tells you a lot about how that dog is and what are the priorities for that breed in terms of temperament. The original purpose of the Boxer was to be a hunting dog of bear, wild boar, and deer, which, don't forget, hunting dogs still have some great qualities that we love, like trainability, and they need to be able to react to their owner's requests and that kind of thing. But I certainly do love how the Doberman was originally bred to be a personal protector dog for humans and is the only breed to be bred for that purpose. Okay, the big question of the day, which one of these two breeds should you get? They're very similar in a lot of ways, but there are some incredibly important differences which could determine which owner is right for them. This is a hard question, guys. It's like asking you which brand of car is best. Everybody has an opinion, it's very subjective, but here's my personal opinion. I think the Doberman breed is best for you if you want a dog who's naturally protective of you and your family, really without any additional training whatsoever. It's just instinctual to them. If you want incredibly smart but also stoic dog, I think the Doberman breed would be great for you. Also, if you want a dog that quickly grows out of those puppy stages, those high energy stages, and kind of reaches a more stoic stage for you, if that's important for you, then the Doberman breed might be right. And also, if you want a slightly larger and physically more substantial looking dog, then you might want to consider a Doberman. Now, the Boxer might be best for you if you want a loyal dog who's focused on their owner and extremely accepting of other people at the same time. Also, you want a dog who's a thinker and easily conveys their emotions to their owner, since conveying those emotions to their owners seems to be something that the expressive Boxer can do a little bit better than the Doberman. Also, if you enjoy that clownish behavior and those younger stages and you really value a good sense of humor in your dog, might also be another reason to consider a Boxer. And lastly, if you just want a dog who's slightly smaller and possibly more agile, and while still being a substantially sized dog, then that could be another good reason to consider the Boxer. Guys, I truly think both breeds are just amazing breeds of dog, but for me, I'm a total Doberman fanatic. And you know, although I may have been torn at one point in my life between these two breeds, the Dobermans ultimately won me over just because of their extreme intelligence, their loyalty, their owner-focused nature, and just being naturally protective of their owners and their families. Instinctually so, since this was the sole purpose that they were created for, and the only breed that was created for this sole purpose of personal protection of humans. They won me over for those reasons. Doberman is my breed, but what's your breed? I'd love to hear it. Please leave it in the comment section down below. Is it the Boxer, the Doberman, or maybe something totally different? I'd love to hear all about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button before you go anywhere. You might be surprised as a subscriber for my channel what you might learn about this amazingly unique breed of dog. And also, take a look at this video that's popping up on your screen. This might actually give you some pretty enlightening insights into the Doberman breed. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you next time.